Hello team. So today I'm going to show how to create a Jupyter notebook from a Python code and put it into Google Drive to run through Colab Enterprise. So what happens many time is that you have some local code available to you, and mostly if you come from data science background it becomes much more easier for you to work with Google Colab or things like Jupyter Notebook. So what we are going to do is we are going to replicate a process where, let's say, I have created one Python notebook, and once I have created this Python notebook, I just wanted to deploy it to first Google Drive, and then from there I just wanted to use Colab Enterprise. And the reason why I might be using that is because maybe Colab Enterprise is much more secured environment for you, or your organizations only allow you to work, from Google Colab Enterprise. So that's what we are going to see. So let's get started. So I will start with the code first and then I will move on to the infra part. So here what we are going to do is, suppose I have a business logic. Again, I have created a very simple business logic in form of a Python file. So this is a simple Python file. And what I want to do is I want to create a simple pipeline where first of all I'm going to convert it into a Jupyter notebook. So let's try to do it first. So what we have done is we have used a utility which is called as Jupyter text or Jupy text, and with that what you can do is you can create your code, you can make notebook cells and then use that as a Python notebook. So for example, if I run this as such, let me run this. What is going to happen is I'm going to create a ipynb file, which is a Jupyter notebook file, and this is the file which is created, if you see. And what we are doing within this convert.py is I'm copying a class file from helloprinter.py, and I'm also adding a new cell, and that's what I did. So if I see here, I copied the business process, in this example a class file, and another cell to run this. So this is how the Jupyter notebook will be able to execute. So once I have this Jupyter notebook, now the next step what I'm going to do is, after this convert.py, is I will try to run it. And for running it I will cover the infrastructure. So what I will require is a couple of things. So for example, the three things which I will require is, first of all, a service account, which means again all my authentication keys and all will be stored in a file called service account key.json. How and where to create I will show in the next section. Another thing what you can do is you need to set up your project ID. So you do that project ID by calling gcloud config set. And third is using gs utility, which is the utility to copy local file to Google Drive. So this is what we are going to do, and I'm going to show you right away. So I have a text file here where I have everything done. So first step that we need to do is we need to authenticate ourselves, and that's what we have done. So where to have service account key.json I will show in next section, but essentially we are authenticating ourselves. So this is step number one. Step number two is setting the Google project as such. So I just set this project as such, and again this can be put into a bash file, and you can run one by one in a sort of simple workflow, but I'm just trying to tell what we are trying to do. The other thing that you try to do is run this utility which copies to some bucket and so on. So before going that, let me tell you where we are as of now. So if you see this, I have a bucket which is there, and this bucket is empty. And once I will click this or will run this, what is going to happen is I will be able to copy my helloprinter.ipynb to this gcvd defaults bucket. So let me see if it is available here. So if you see, I have the file copied as such. So this is what we are trying to do. So essentially we are replicating a CI/CD pipeline where we are copying it there. In the next section, I will show you where to run it as a Google Colab Enterprise version. So that's what we are going to cover next. So now I will talk about the infrastructure requirement. So first I need to create this default bucket as such. So I created this bucket and there is where the code was copied. So I created on this portal itself. So the name of the bucket is this one. And this is what is needed to copy paste as such. Now also we need to, go to service account as such. So basically within I am an admin, you go to service account and you need to create key as such, and this key will be used to authenticate yourself. So this is what you have to do, and this is used to authenticate. So as a part of CI/CD process or a workflow, you can authenticate. The third thing which you can see is if you go to your Vertex AI solution. So for example, within Vertex AI service, if you go to Colab Enterprise and Workbench, you can able to locate the notebook which was there in the Google Drive as such, or bucket as such. So what is difference between Colab Enterprise and Workbench is Colab Enterprise is a sort of easier way to run the notebooks, and Workbench requires some configuration as such. So that's the difference, but essentially they are the same. So within, for example, Colab Enterprise, what you need to do is you need to import notebook. So for example, what the essential idea of running from here is, first of all, you get the whole security suite as such for your enterprise. So you can run all the collab notebooks here, you can share it with your different colleagues, you can even schedule those runs. So all those things are available. So essentially what you do into collab enterprises, again I'm not going to show you right away, but it's pretty easy to do. So you create a runtime environment which talks about Python versions, whether you will be using CPU, GPU, and all those sort of things. So there are plethora of configurations which you can do. And then what you can do is you can import a notebook. And when you are importing a notebook, you can talk about cloud storage, and you can browse. And if you see, it is going to load the Google GCP default notebook which we had. And here is where you can have our different notebooks. So what you can do is you can import notebooks, create the infra template, and then run it. So this is very very useful in our enterprise setup. So this is what I wanted to show you today. Very simple workflow: create a Python file, convert it into notebook, copy it to your own cloud storage bucket, and then once you do it, open it as a Collab Enterprise notebook by browsing through that default bucket. So that's what we did today. So thanks team, thanks for watching. Bye.